What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is something that I've been pleading with, pleading for these two to come to an agreement and debate. So, yesterday, during Trump's rambling and sometimes incoherent so called press conference from Mar a Lago, he mentioned that he agreed to a debate to be held on September the 10th, which is a month away from now. And during a press conference of her own yesterday, Kamala Harris said she had agreed to the debate and be willing to agree to maybe some more. Uh, Trump said that this debate will be hosted, by Fox, ABC, and NBC, and that CBS will host a separate debate between the vice presidential candidates. So we'll have Kamala Harris, the current vice president, and 2024 Democratic presidential nominee, and Donald Trump, the former president, the 45th president of the United States, and the 2024 GOP presidential nominee, debating at, I guess, what's still an undisclosed location. I think they should do it in Pennsylvania or maybe Wisconsin. I don't know. Michigan, whatever. To be honest with you, I'm looking forward more for the debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. That's the one I think that's going to be good because I think that's the one that's going to be more fireworks. You know what I'm saying? And I will go live for these two debates. This should be good. This should be good. With Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, this is Donald Trump's chance to take command of this race, or I shouldn't say take command. That's not the right angle. Because the perception right now is Kamala Harris has all this momentum. Remember, they still have their convention, which is in about a little over a week from now, I think. About 10 more days. The Democratic National Convention should start in Chicago. So Kamala Harris is going to have a little bit of an extended period of an upswing, or I'll call it a honeymoon period. But after that, as we get closer to Labor Day, that's when I think people are going to really start paying attention to this race. They're going to start paying attention to this race as well as football, but they're going to start paying more and more attention to this race as we go down to the wire. Donald Trump now has an opportunity to regain the edge in this race. I just did a Patreon saying that, despite the media and their Harris is going to win in an Obama style victory semi landslide campaign, Donald Trump can still very well win this election. Okay? Very well. He's going to win at least minimum 170 electoral votes. Minimum. Like, he can't go lower than that. More than likely, he's going to get at least 230. I say at least because I'm not counting swing states. He can win as many as 320 electoral votes and win this comfortably. Because if you look at the state by state races, Trump could win as many as 30 states. So this thing is not. They give you the impression that Trump is just sinking fast and it's just got to catch on to this Harris train and it's over, but it's not. But the debate is also an opportunity for Harris to take full command of this race. If Trump has an absolute meltdown in the debate, he looks awful. There's some rumors. I don't know how true it is, but there's some rumors that Trump's health isn't really good right now. I don't know how true that is. But look, when he was going up against Biden, Trump, by comparison, always looked the better of the two. But now the Democrats can have the angle that Trump is too old. I mean, to be honest with you, he is the oldest nominee in history. It would have been Biden, but Biden dropped out. Trump is 78 years old. He's the oldest major party nominee in history. So I do believe they're going to start making his age an issue, but they got to be slick with it because Joe Biden is president. He's 81. So they can't be too big on that. But I think they're going to have some little sneak attacks on that. But yeah, if Kamala Harris rises to the occasion and she overperforms, because we don't really think of her as an Al Gore policy wonk type person. You know what I'm saying? She speaks in word salads and she doesn't really seem to be that. I don't want to say she's not articulate. She's not a stupid person. She's just not a person who seems to do a lot of. She doesn't seem to do a lot of her homework when it comes to policy. Okay, she's not a person who is an information geek, and I don't say that in a bad term. I mean, you know, she comes across to me as one of those persons that always got by on her looks. I'm sorry, I know these type of people. They get by on their looks. They get all these opportunities. Meanwhile, the ugly kid who makes the A's and B's, they got to work twice as hard to get half the success. Yeah, and I think, from what I've heard, and it's not just idle gossip. This is people that have spoken about her, and some people that have talked to me that knew of her. She did use that thing between her legs to get a little bit of a leg up. I'm sorry, it's a fact, you know. But if she can cut into that stigma in any way in this debate, then Trump is in serious trouble. But I'm gonna tell you something that's telling about this election. If you look at the poll, now polls aren't everything, but I think it should worry both of these candidates that, for the most part, there's a lot of undecided voters. See, a lot of these polls are misleading by these pollsters, these polling groups. You got to look at the wording. A lot of these polls will say something like, well, if it came down to these two candidates excluding third parties, who do you pick? Oh, and then they'll say, oh, well, Kamala's leading 53-47. Yeah, but you saw it said if you exclude RFK, if you exclude Dr. Cornel West, if you exclude Jill Stein, if you exclude, all these, the libertarian candidate, if you exclude all of these candidates for president, the third party vote is going to be significant. I don't think it's going to be as big as 2016, but I think it's going to be bigger than 2020. So don't be surprised if about 5 to 6% of the electorate votes independent or third party. Who is that going to hurt more, Trump or Harris? Now, some polls show it'll hurt Trump more. I don't know. But yeah, this race isn't over though. But anyway, I look forward to these debates. I'm glad that they came to a agreement because that's the stuff that matters to me, man. Not all of this reality TV, he said, she said, person that it's one thing to talk to a group of people who are your supporters, but it's another one to be on stage with your opponent in real time and what I'm saying, answer questions. Now, to a certain extent, obviously, they know the questions that are going to be asked. They know of the questions that are going to be asked. But still, you got to know your research. You got to know your shit. You know what I'm saying? You still got to know what you got. Still got to know what you're talking about. And presentation and style matters. And to me, Trump has to try to appear presidential. I think he needs to calm down on the personal attacks. Kamala Harris has to appear presidential, and she can't come across as, while she do needs to be strong and battle the cackling, image. At the same time, she can't appear to be the angry black woman. It's true. I mean, it's unfair, but to a lesser extent, Hillary Clinton had to deal with that. Hillary Clinton was so robotic and unlikable. She had a hell of a negative record that Trump was able to bash her over the head with. And, in 2016, he was able to stay on message because it was so much that Hillary Clinton had as far as her record, as far as what you could attack her for. The emails, remember later on the Comey letter, which probably led to her losing. The emails, remember Benghazi, her years as the first lady to Bill Clinton by extension. He could attack the Clinton record, even though black people love the Clintons, even though I think that generation is starting to move away, that starting to be a generational thing. Younger black people, I think, know to deal with Clinton, but you look at the welfare reform bill, you look at the crime bill. The welfare bill had good intentions, but it did harm black families. The crime bill did not have good intentions. And by the way, the Congressional Black Caucus, who's supposed to be looking out for us, agreed to the crime reform bill, which they knew would disproportionately put more black people in prison than white and Latino more than white. But it is what it is. By the way, this is something that floors me. I remember during Trump's, I think it was his first State of the Union address, right? And Trump, during his speech, mentioned that black unemployment had gone down and black businesses had reported 500% more profit during his first year than I think the last couple of years under Obama, right? Now, whether or not you credit Trump with that or not, I remember the Congressional Black Caucus was sitting down. Like, they weren't cheering that. All because they were posturing. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I know you don't like Trump. And I get it. You don't want to be acting like you're giving him a win. But you look really fucking stupid. Technically sitting down and protesting black improvement because you don't want to give this president the appearance that he achieved that. But you're basically protesting the improvement of the black community. Who does that? Who does that? Even if you had to stand, or even if you just had to lightly applaud. These people don't have our best interests at heart, man. And that's a microcosm of what our problem is, man. We put our spitefulness ahead of we put our spitefulness and pettiness and vindictiveness ahead of what is our best options as far as success. Sometimes you got to make a deal with the devil. That's what politics is all about. I mean, didn't we do it with Lyndon Johnson? So, at the end of the day, I really, that floored me when I remember seeing that, man. Anyway, I just hope this is a good debate. Tell me what you guys think.